This. Oh well.
An issue. I get to the window and pay, and ask about cashless being down to the girl, whom me or my wife don't know. McDonald's turnover rate. You get it. She briefly mentioned something about one of the readers being knocked over, so I just say, okay, I'll be right in. She looks at me a little curious, but says nothing. I park in, walk in the side door with my wife to try and sort out what's going on, when a young lady says that I'm not permitted behind the counter. I get it. You don't know me, or my wife, so I ask her to get her shift manager real fast. She does, and just my bad luck. It's an assistant manager that had just recently been promoted, and I don't know her either. Nor does my wife. I try to explain that I work IT for the office, which she can see if you look over my right shoulder out the window, and that I was going to look and see what was going on with the cash list to try to get it back up. I introduce my wife by name and mention that she's the office manager at the main office, and I point and can vouch for me. She still isn't letting me behind the counter. I'm not angry or upset about this, as she really is just doing her job, and nicely as well. I nod understandingly and pull out my phone. I swipe through my contacts and stop at the store manager and bring it up and show her, asking if we should call her by name. I swipe through my contacts again to the regional manager and do the same thing, showing her my phone and calling her by name. I then do the same thing with the director of operations and then both owners. I finally just said, pick one. I know cashless is the main payment method, and every moment it's down costs quite a bit. The light bulb went off and she nodded. My wife, the beautiful social butterfly she is, strikes up a conversation with the newly promoted assistant manager and starts talking shop as I head to the drive-thru to begin diagnosing things. Someone had accidentally knocked over one of the card readers, and they aren't small. A quick inspection revealed that the port had somehow got multiple of the contacts bent. Some were shorting together. I'm assuming the ones that were shorting were causing the main hub of it to flip out, so I set about trying to bend the pins back into shape somewhat. I plug everything back in, reboot it, and voila! Cashless is back in 5 minutes. The assistant manager thanks me, and I just say to leave a little note that I was here and what I did. My wife says she'll also mention it in the office to the regional managers. I got an attaboy from the owners for that one, and a free chocolate shake. Entitled Mom demands bride be less happy on her wedding day. So let me preface this, saying this is my mom's story, not mine. I don't know all the details, because I know it's a painful memory, and I don't want to make her relive it. The characters will be my mom, entitled mom, entitled sister, and my dad. My mom is the youngest of 2 girls. She and my dad went to high school together, but didn't start dating until they were both in college. It was a chance meeting that they ran into each other in a bar. Cute story. Still happily married and in love 23 years later. It all started when my mom got engaged. My aunt was so upset because she wasn't engaged first, even though she was older. Throughout all the planning, she was pouting and kind of cold towards my mom. So the day of the wedding comes. My mom is getting ready for the bride. She is married to the guy she has had a crush on.
I don't know why everything's blowing
She
up.
has her perfect venue, and she's wearing her grandmother's, my great
Alright, there he is. Oh.
Everything is going absolutely perfect, until my aunt starts crying. My mom tried to comfort her, because she is the most selfless woman in the world. Even though she was getting married in mere hours, she was focused on her sister. A little while later, after my aunt ran off, my grandmother pulled my mom aside. Like I said, I don't know every detail, but the conversation went something like this. Entitled Mom. Hey, you're really making entitled sister upset. My mom, confused. What did I do? You're way too happy, and it's making her upset that she didn't get married before you. My mom. Pardon me? Entitled Mom. Can you just be a little less happy? My mom was in shock. This was supposed to be the happiest day of her life, and here was her mother telling her to be less happy, so her sister didn't get upset. My mom's whole life, she was always told to set her accomplishments aside so her sister felt special too. When she was younger, she was told by her parents she would never go to college because she had a hard time in school, dyslexia and ADD, before professional help was available. My mom defied all odds and graduated with a master's degree. Can you guess who got all the glory for graduating from college? You guessed it, my aunt. And on this day, my mom wasn't having it. My mom. Look, Mom, I'm sorry that entitled sister is upset, but today is about me and the groom. We're happy, and I'm not going to hide that or pretend I'm not, just so entitled sister won't be sad. Today is the happiest day of my life, and I'm not giving that up for anyone.
Yeah.
My grandmother shut up after that. She did give my mother a disapproving look, though. I don't even need to have been there to see it. My mom still gets them all the time. After that, the wedding was perfect. My mother still talks about it with stars in her eyes. Now, my mother still has to deal with their crap sometimes, but she also has told my dad and a kid, two of us are adults now, to help stand up for her. She's very happy, and I'm so glad she stood up for herself. There are a few stories like this that I know about, but this one makes me the saddest. I'm just glad she didn't let it ruin her wedding day. I told my mom about all the support she got in this post and how many upvotes it has, and she got so happy, joking that she was Reddit famous, and was so overjoyed that everyone was so kind. Would you ever act less happy if someone asked you to? Please let me know. Entitled Mom thinks if my garage door is open, she and her bratty son can search for it and take what they want. I've been lurking here and have been afraid to post because I'm awkward and don't know if my stories will be as well liked as everyone else's. So here goes. I am posting from my phone, so might be some mistakes. The stars. We've got myself from about 16 years ago. I'm 28, so I was 14 at the time. We've got Entitled Mom, my neighbor from across the street, a self-entitled mother. We've got B5K, her 5-year-old kid who's obsessed with other people's stuff. The scene, my garage. During the summer between 7th and 8th grade, my parents would go to work and leave me with a giant list of chores so overwhelming I wouldn't even try. Also, I live in Texas, so it would sometimes be too hot to try. One day, to avoid being crapped on, I decided I would attempt to do the chore, clean out the garage. My parents hoard crap, and they get upset when they can't find what they want. And my stepfather just buys crap and doesn't even try to put it somewhere. So it's my job to organize the garage so that my mom can actually park her car. I'm moving stuff around for a few hours, and I'm sweaty and hot, and all it looked like I was really doing anyway was just removing the mess. I came across my tricycle from when I was younger. I put it outside on the driveway so I can try to find a place for it later. I decide to take a break and go inside, fix some lunch. A couple minutes later, I hear rummaging in the garage, something break. I thought it was my cat. I looked. It was B5K. Sounds like a Star Wars droid name. Searching through the place, looking around like he just found good treasure. Me. Hey, B5K, where's your brother? He's grounded till Monday. Me. Pedal up to him and get in front of him. He rides into my bike and falls. I don't help him up, but I take my trike back. I put it inside the house and then go back outside to finish up in my garage. Now from across the street to the left, I hear B5K yelling to someone. I assumed it was his older sister. She was a year behind me and didn't usually care about the stuff he complained about. So I expected her to come over here and just give me a little crap playfully and then go home. I go back to my chore, and then I feel someone prod me between my shoulder blades. I assumed this to be his sister, so I turned around, ready for a pretty smile and a sarcastic chewing out. I was ill prepared for this, because it was Entitled Mom in all her rage. Entitled Mom. What'd you steal from my son? Me. Nothing. My son says you took something from him while he was playing. Where is it? Me. I didn't give him a thing. He tried to steal my tricycle. Where is it? Not telling you. You could have heard him. Me. I look at her very confused. He was only playing. Give him his tricycle back. His tricycle? He got it from my garage. Well, you're too old for it. Me. Look, lady, I'm just trying to finish a job so that I don't have to worry about it. Please walk away. I pulled my flip phone out of my pocket and called my mom. Entitled Mom promised to have my trike back when my mother came home and picked up her little thief and left. Did you ever have a tricycle of your own? Or how about rollerblades, skateboards, or a scooter? Please let me know. My uncle's entitled ex-girlfriend ruined the day I was born. My parents have told this story numerous times, and I have relayed it on occasion to anyone who found it interesting. Although in this case, the person of interest isn't an entitled parent per se, she wasn't at the time. But who's to say so now, over 20 years later? I believe it still fits for this subreddit. By the time I was born, familiar with the birthing process, as they had had quite a few kids before me. My mother knew how she wanted to do it, and who she wanted to be there for it. At this point, it was practically routine. My father's brother is a great guy, but kind of a pushover in romantic relationships. He had been dating around for quite some time, but none of his previous girlfriends had ended up being marriage potential. Unfortunately, neither was this one. At the time of my birth, nobody had really met his girlfriend. They had heard of her, seen her maybe once or twice, but the relationship hadn't been cemented yet. It was late on a Wednesday evening when my mother awoke my dad and announced that the baby was on the way. They quickly packed up their things, calling nearby family members to let them know the hospital. My grandparents arrived around the same time as them, as well as a couple of my husband's brothers. By this time, my mom had been in labor for several hours and was just about to enter active labor. She determined that only she and my father would be in the room for the birthing process. That's when entitled girlfriend spoke up, as my mother was being taken into the room. Entitled girlfriend: "What about me?" My dad: "What about you?" "Aren't you going to invite me in the room too?" My grandmother: "I don't think that's entirely appropriate." "Oh, come on. I'm a woman, so I know what it's going to be like in there. I can handle the screaming and everything." My subservient uncle: "That's not the point, entitled girlfriend." "What are you talking about? I'm about to be family too. I have every right to be in there." Dad: "It's not your decision to make." Uncle: "I'm sorry, but..." Entitled girlfriend, whining: "Baby, you know it's my birthday." She wasn't lying. It actually happened to be her birthday. "This baby's being born on the same day as my birthday. It just proves I'm meant to be in there. It's like a birthday gift." Dad: "I'm sorry. What?" Entitled girlfriend: "If I'm not in the room for the birth, then how are they going to name the baby after me?" Dad looks at Uncle, who appears to be just as surprised at her question. What the heck? Grandma: "They're not naming the baby after you. We're here to be supportive, and you're making a scene." "It's not fair." Dad walks into the room with my mom. "Honey, you would not believe what I just heard. Uncle's crazy girlfriend thinks we're naming our baby after her." My mom: "Why does she think that?" Dad laughs. "Apparently it's her birthday." Mom pauses. "What time is it?" "Almost 11 p.m. Why?" My mom: "No way in heck I'm delivering this baby until midnight." And she held true to her word. She didn't start pushing until my dad confirmed it was midnight. Entitled girlfriend complained the whole time about how it was taking so long and she wanted to hold the baby. But she ended up leaving before the baby was officially delivered. Major kudos to my mom, who managed to remain calm during the birth and have me when she was good and ready. Entitled mom thinks I'm not old enough to see Jumanji 2. I'm 14, but I've been told since I was 13 that I'm short for my age and have a bit of a baby face, and I'm cool with that. A lot of people are nice when they find out my actual age, but it upsets me when people are just stuck-up jerks about it. So here's one of those times. Bit of backstory. My mom's friend is a manager at a local Regal Cinemas downtown, and they've known each other since high school, and they're the best of friends. It's important to the story to know that he was at my 13th and 14th birthday. Anyway, on to the story. Cast: we've got me, we've got manager Buddy, we've got entitled mom, plus ticket receptionist. So about a week after Jumanji 2 came out, and I wanted to see it for the first time, it was Saturday. I asked my parents if they could take me. My dad said he couldn't because he was called for an emergency meeting at work, and my mom said she wasn't feeling well. My mom gave me $25 to go by myself, so I took an Uber and got to the theater 15 minutes before the movie. I went inside and pulled out a $10 bill, and this is how the following conversation went. Me: "One ticket to Jumanji, please." The entitled mom, early 30s, stared me up and down from face to foot. Entitled mom: "I'm sorry, are your parents here?" Me, a bit confused: "No, why?" "Isn't it obvious, kiddo? You need to be 13 and up to see this movie." Note that I was 14 during all this crap. Me, chuckling: "Oh, I'm sorry, this happens a lot. I'm 14. Entitled mom, now getting upset: "Don't lie to me, young man. You're clearly 10. Please leave. I'd never let my kids watch this movie." Me, also getting upset: "No, I'm 14. I get it, I look young for my age, but I'm not lying. You need to leave before I call the cops. You are trespassing." "I literally dare you to." Entitled mom, actually called the cops. Entitled Mom looking smug. There, I called them, you little jerk. At this time, Manager Buddy came out of his office and walked up to us and stood next to me. Manager Buddy. What's going on here? A woman came to me and told me there was some conflict out here. Entitled Mom with a dramatic voice. This kid lied to me about being 14. Manager Buddy looked at me, and this is what happened. OP, it's great to see you again. Can you tell me what's going on? Me. Sure. I tell him everything, including what she called me. And when I was done, he looked at Entitled Mom with the most intimidating death glare I've ever seen. Entitled Mom, is this true? Entitled Mom, now looking nervous. Yes. You do realize what age he is, right? 10. No, he's 14. I was at his birthday. Entitled Mom is silent. What other crap did you do? I called the police. You called the police on him? I thought he was 10. He wouldn't leave when I told him to. Entitled Mom, we've talked about this twice. You don't call the cops on kids. You call me first and tell me to come down to sort this out. Entitled Mom is silent. Manager Buddy with a calm voice. OP, go see your movie. It's on me. Me. Okay, thanks. The movie was great. I've always loved Kevin Hart. Anyways, after the movie, I went to Manager Buddy, and here's what happened. Hey, OP, don't worry, the cops were called off. An Entitled Mom was arrested for harassment and disturbing the peace. Did you like the movie? Me. Heck yeah, but one question. Does Entitled Mom actually have kids? Yeah, unfortunately. Manager Buddy and I both laughed hard at that. Entitled Mom didn't get prison or jail time, but she got 3 months of therapy 2 times a week and 100 hours of community service. Clarence Karen, a special breed. In college, I was working at a bookstore. The company was Christian-owned, and they made a pretty big deal about it, and all their merch was geared towards that clientele. So one fall, they were having a huge sale. A lot had been moved to clearance in our store, and several bonus coupons were in that month's mail-out. This woman, Entitled Woman, came in with her husband. They had filled, I kid you not, 12 handheld baskets with junk, and I mean junk. A lot of it was clearance because it was damaged or broken in some minor way. I patiently rang them all up, secretly excited how the sale would look on my numbers for the week. I made small talk about the weather and her items. Oh, this candle smells nice, like usual, and I thought all was going great. At the end of the purchase, I asked if she had any coupons. She handed me a 20% off her entire purchase, and I scanned it. It brought the total down from over $500 to about $450 because it only applied to the non-clearance items, as explained in bold letters below the big 20% text. Entitled Lady. That coupon is for 20% off. You didn't take 20% off. Me. The coupon can only take 20% off the regularly priced items, ma'am. I hurried to scroll back through the running list on my screen. It looks like it took 20% off all of the non-clearance items. Entitled Lady huffs and digs in her bag, producing the sale act and handing me several more coupons. One was able to take an additional 10% off a book. It was book specific, and another took a few dollars off, but her total was still well over $400. Another coupon was a buy one get one free. Buy 2 clearance items under $5, get the third free. I looked back over her purchase and saw she had about 30 $5 or less candles and other smaller items like bookmarks, highlighters, etc. Me. I can scan this coupon, but it'll only save you about $5. If you'd like, I can take off most of the items that are under $5. But I want to buy them all. Me. I understand that. Let me explain. I know how coupons work. You don't need to get snotty with me. I sighed and scanned the coupon. Why did that only take off $5? I bought more than 3 items, young lady. I plastered on my teacher face and smiled. Me. As I was trying to explain, it's only good for a total of 3 items per transaction. If you'd like, I can remove the other items from this transaction and then scan the rest up separately. That way you're still getting the same amount for free. I should probably mention that doing so was way against company policy. But as my assistant manager was always saying, we don't get paid enough to care when people are mad over $5. Just make it work. Entitled Lady. So why won't it work on this transaction? Scan it again. You must not have done it right. Me. I can scan it again, but I can see that it won't work no matter how many times I scan it. The coupons that work and the items they apply to turn green. And if it doesn't work, a big error message comes up, and it'll say in red that it doesn't apply with a brief explanation of why. The system is saying it won't work because it has already been applied to qualifying items. Lose the attitude. I don't deserve this. I'm spending hundreds of dollars in here. Fix it. At this point, I wanted to throw my computer screen at her, but I know manager definitely gets paid enough to care about that. Instead, I plastered on another smile. Me, I'll scan the coupon again, and if you'd like to step to the side here, I'll show you my screen, so you can see that it doesn't work that way, no matter how many times I scan it. I'm not going to do your job for you. Make it work. I scanned the coupon again, and surprise, it didn't work. Me, as I've said, it's not going to work this way. Again, I'm more than happy to remove the items from your purchase and ring them out as separate transactions, but I can't make the computer accept the coupon. Well, that's not what I want. I want to buy these items, so I wouldn't have picked them out, would I? Now I'm just done. Me, I've found that's why customers generally select items. Yes. She blinks at me, and I'm now smiling with true joy. I've managed to silence her for a moment. Me, if you'd like, I can go get my manager and see if he knows anything I don't. I know he doesn't, but I figure I can offer anyway and pass the buck to him. Entitled lady, you should have offered that sooner. Go! As I'm walking to the other side of the checkout kiosk, I hear her say to husband, hopefully manager is more competent than this jerk. I go up to the manager and he leans in and I start to explain, but he tells me he's been listening to the whole thing and I'm right. Don't worry. We were pretty close friends outside of work, and he knew I didn't mind confrontation at all. But he was in law school, so I knew entitled lady had it coming in some way. I handed manager the coupon and hung back while I labeled new merch. Manager tells the entitled lady, what seems to be the problem, ma'am? Entitled lady is now in full-on Karen mode. That cashier is inept. Because of her, I won't be buying anything. She should be fired. I expect better service from a Christian store. Manager, I'm sorry to hear you aren't. May I? Entitled lady cuts them off and Rage explains what's happened, surprisingly accurately, and manager nods along sympathetically. Entitled lady, and your employee said you might be able to get the coupon to work, so I expect you to. I did the math, and this shouldn't be more than $200, so I won't be paying more than that. I trust that you can see to it that I get what I want, and that's your job. Manager, I will certainly do everything I can. Manager scans the coupon, and once again, it's rejected. Let me call her over here. He waves me over and asks, which way were you scanning the coupon? Instinctively, I swiped my hand in front of the scanner like I was holding a coupon, left to right. Manager, well, that's exactly what you're supposed to do. Now I can tell he's messing with her. Let me try it this way. He scans it right to left. Nope, still won't work. Let me see. Meanwhile, entitled lady has this smug grin, like I'm about to be taught a lesson. Manager inputs the code manually and turns the screen all the way around, showing her the error. Manager, if you'll see here, this coupon has already been applied to as much merchandise as corporate allows. So, entitled lady then turns and storms out of the store. This store is pathetic. I won't ever be back. If a customer wants to use a coupon, you should let them. Husband follows her to the car, agreeing with her. When the door closes, manager turns to me, and we're both nervous with you laughing. Grateful the store is otherwise empty. Manager sent me to lunch, saying we reshelved her stuff in a bag. Halfway through my break, he comes in the back room. Manager, guess who just came back? Apparently, entitled lady said husband in to buy everything. No coupon for anything. I worked at this store for another year, and she did the same thing about 6 months later. I saw her coming toward my register at the same time manager did, caught his eye, and went, nope, yours, in the back of the store.